Hey there guys, it's Matt Wilderson with Wild Runs Disc Golf. And today is going to be the very first day of hopefully a long journey. I don't really know. This is going to be something that I hopefully just do on the side, but if it does become something, that'd be dope too. I'd like to potentially be like a YouTuber. That's a cool job to have. And before we jump too far into it, this is going to be a pretty big copycat vid based on other videos in the genre. So everyone's doing Vlogmas, 25 days, 25 videos up until Christmas. And I thought that was really cool. I've been having tons of ideas in my head for videos I want to make, and I thought now's the time to do it. So the first video I wanted to make is just a little bit about myself. You guys don't know me, probably won't know me forever. So it's good to have some little background on the YouTubers that you're watching, because a lot of people just kind of post videos with them playing rounds, and it's not really the type of relationship I want to have with this channel. I want it to be pretty personal and more relatable than other channels. The video I wanted to make first was who am I and how I got into disc golf. So I was doing this thing that hopefully everyone gets to do, but probably won't be because it's kind of a reckless thing to do in the first place. But I got to travel to Thailand, Norway, and Fiji for a 3-month trip. And I was able to work while I did this, so I didn't have to take any time off. I was able to make an income, and it was a really good gig. And I really hope I can do it in the future, post-COVID, and everyone can actually travel. But for that period of time, I was able to just live the life that I pretty much wanted to live. And there was definitely some downsides. Couldn't really go see friends, couldn't do a whole lot of stuff. But for a 3-month span, I was able to do snorkeling, see a bunch of animals, ride an elephant. I didn't actually ride an elephant, but I wanted to. I did a whole bunch of things that were just soul inspiring. And I knew I wanted to do that for years and years, which is kind of why it felt so good, especially at that time, to just do travel with no strings attached. I didn't have to do it for school. I didn't have to do it with anyone. It was just kind of on my own terms. And that was phenomenal. I had to come back. There's only a finite amount of money and a finite amount of time I could do. I have a dog, so I had to look after her. And that was the time that I had to kind of come back to reality, even though I will still travel, but had to come back. And then I got back to my apartment and I was just kind of thinking, like, what am I going to do now? Because obviously I still want to travel, but I have to have this new void that I have to fill, because there's something that I just was so passionate about and have to move on. And so I just started watching these weird disc golf videos made by a channel called Jomez. And I was not sure exactly what the sport was. I knew my friends played disc golf a little bit in high school, but I didn't really think about it too much. It was just kind of a thing people did. But I started watching these videos. They got recommended to me almost in an annoying amount of time. Like every single video in my recommended feed for YouTube would be, hey, there's a 2019 finals coming out with these 4 players, Macbeth, Ricky Wysocki, and somebody else. And I just thought, oh, whatever. It's just like another dumb sport. That's cool. I'll give it a little bit of a viewing. And then within, I just kept getting recommended. For whatever reason, it just hooked me. I was like, okay, this is interesting. It's kind of seems like a lame sport. I don't really get it all that much, but whatever. It seems I play video games and I do lots of lame things, like program what's one more lame thing. So I started watching it, and then within a 3-day weekend, I just had a free Friday, and I just spent probably, I don't want to exaggerate, but probably 24 hours watching disc golf videos that whole weekend. And for whatever reason, I just got instantly hooked. It was just okay, this is sick. Now, can I actually play this? Are there any courses nearby? I saw there was the championship was near Kansas or something. I wasn't quite sure. And lo and behold, Kansas, where I live, is the hot spot for disc golf. It's obviously lots of open land and tons of fields that are unoccupied, which is the peak for disc golf courses. And so I was just all right, let's see if my favorite park has a disc golf course. Obviously it does, because the sport's blowing up. And I just went to Walmart on my way to the park. I was like, Walmart has to have like a starter set or something. And they did. The discs were pretty bad, but I didn't really care or know, because I was just starting out. And I started throwing it around. I had thrown a little bit of frisbees with Ultimate in high school and college, but not really that much. And after a round, I was like, this sport's all right, but the frisbees don't really do what you want. And there's so much wind that it's pretty hard to putt consistently. So I was just like, whatever. I'll probably do it a little bit, once like a week maybe, but probably won't be that big of a deal, since it's just like not that rewarding. But I just kept playing, and after a little bit, I started actually learning how to like drive, and my mid-range was getting better. Still couldn't putt, but I like to blame that on my AVR, but I'm sure that's not the reason. I'm still bad at putting. But I just started playing more and more, and then after about probably 3 months or so, I was on this trip to Minneapolis with my girlfriend, and I just like hit up people on Facebook that were selling discs, and I was like, hey, can I get like a bundle or something? And I went to this guy's house that had probably 300 discs just lying about in one room. And I was like, oh my goodness, people will spend insane amounts of money on discs, and there's so many varieties and so many options you can have that it's like overwhelming. So like I learned there was such a big depth to the sport, and that intrigued me. And so I got some from him. I started throwing around those, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, this sport is a little bit easier when you have discs that actually do what you want it to do. And I got a little bit better feel for how you're supposed to throw certain shots. And I, right around that time, played my first tournament. And I got wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. It was not even funny. I went from thinking I could maybe get like top 50%. I mean, there's like 60 people in this tournament. Like, how bad can I do? I did bad. It was not great. I went from having my idea of like, oh yeah, I'm a decent player, shot down. No, I'm not a decent player. I'm awful. Everyone starts out as awful. So I had to come to terms with that. And I went from thinking I was all right to dead last. My first round was dead last by a couple strokes, and I was like, all right. And that kind of took me by storm as to like, oh yeah, there are so many people playing this sport that it's quite literally a sport. It's not just something you do on the weekends. If you want to be good, you have to really practice. And I think that was like the most motivating thing that's ever happened to me since I started playing. There's just so much variety to the sport that you may think you know a certain shot shape, a certain driver, a certain putter mid-range, but until you throw it consistently in a tournament, you don't really know your disc or the sport as well as you might think you do. And so having come from track and cross country where I did all right, and I knew the progression, like you start out doing pretty bad, then work, you get a little bit better, work, and you get to be like near the top. But I'm used to that, but I just did not expect it to be nearly identical to disc golf. So after that, I just went hard, and I just practiced every day and did a tournament. Didn't get last, but I got close to last. And then just a couple months ago, I did a tournament, and I was feeling pretty confident since I had putt like hour a day, not every day, but like 3-4 days a week, getting to be like a serious thing. And I was practicing like a course every day. And I went from not last, I got like, I want to say top 20% in the tournament on an intermediate league. And second round, I did probably 30 out of 60. So overall, I think I got like 25th place, and 25th out of 60 people was amazing for me. So just seeing the amount of progression I've made so far has just made me so excited to play the sport. And I just know that this is the thing I want to do for at least the next couple years. And I have such a strong passion to keep on playing that I don't really see it wavering. And it kind of just makes me want to try more and more and more to get to that AT or get to potentially a pro level tournament. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it certainly gets me excited and wanting to play more. So with that said, that's a little bit about me, but let's talk about what this channel is going to be like.